Hello everyone, welcome back into today's video. If you are new here, my name is Alyssa Rain, and today's topic we're going to be talking about the Goth gatekeeping thing that's been going on. I've been seeing it a lot on TikTok of people being upset over Goths saying that, like, hey, if you don't listen to the music then you're not Goth, and everyone being upset of like, oh, how dare you tell us how to dress? Like, you're gatekeeping Goth. So I would like to talk about that. But for starters, a little introduction of kind of what Goth is. Goth is a music-based subculture that started in the 1980s. Since it is a music-based subculture, if you do not listen to the music, you are not Goth. You do not have to strictly listen to goth music in order to be goth. It's like the same concept of being a metalhead. Like, if you went up to someone and they were like, oh yeah, I'm a metalhead, and they looked like the stereotypical, like, metalhead aesthetic, but they didn't know a single metal song, they didn't listen to metal at all, like, you would call that person a poser. And it's the same as goth music. If you do not listen to goth music, then you cannot call yourself a goth. However, you can dress however you want. That's not what we're saying. You just cannot call yourself goth if you don't listen to the music. And if someone does appear to look goth, the common stereotypical goth, but they don't listen to the music, they aren't goth, they just have a gothic style. You can dress however you want. You can dress gothic and not be goth, and that's fine. Like, no one's telling you what you can and can't wear. We're just saying that you cannot call yourself a goth unless you listen to the goth music. But just to give a little start on some of my favorite goth artists, just in case anyone is looking to get into goth music. These are also probably the most popular ones out of them all. I just kind of quickly went through my playlist and said the ones that I thought that would be most, like, beginner friendly. But we have Susie and the Banshees, we have Sisters of Mercy, Lebanon Hanover, Christian Death, Paralyzed Age, London After Midnight, The Cure, Joy Division, Bauhaus, Depeche Mode, and She Wants Revenge. And if I mispronounced any of those, I apologize. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but apparently people online just don't understand what I'm trying to say here. But goth is a music-based subculture, so you can be goth and not appear gothic, and you can also appear gothic and not be goth. There's a lot of people who are, like, would consider themselves goth, and they just look like the, average person, or maybe they just only dress a little alternative or something. But they are still considered a goth if they listen to the music. I do want to do a video in the future about different goth styles and possibly like one on the background of goth. For this video, I would like to talk about the trend of just TikTokers saying that goths are gatekeeping fashion, which is not the case. In fact, I've even posted a video before on TikTok and got to firsthand see people calling me a gatekeeper. But anyway, yeah, we can get into a few videos that are on TikTok that kind of help explain what I'm trying to say here from the goth community.
Oh, Garfield, the cable's out.
What's wrong with this thing?
Did you hear what I said? The cable's out.
Maybe it needs new batteries.
Garfield, listen to me carefully. The cable is out.
The cable?
So yeah, that just kind of explain what I did. I don't know why it's that deep to so many people about, like, why people want to just label themselves goth so bad, but they're also like, oh, well, why do you have to label everything so much? And then they're also over here like, oh, you're gatekeeping because you're saying that you have to be the specific thing to have this label, and it's like, sometimes you just can't win. This one does have copyright music, so I have to mute it. But yeah, like, even despite music, like, music is obviously, like, the main part of the subculture. There are a lot of other things about the subculture, which I would like to make a video in the future upon it. Yeah, everyone, especially with the goth girl trend, like the goth girlfriend trend going around right now, everyone is very obsessed with the gothic look. It's very weird because, like, as a kid, like, I was emo and goth and things, and just, like, I just got absolutely, like, destroyed in middle school for just, like, appearing, like, with the darker aesthetic, and now it's trending, and it's a really weird, like, shock to me because I'm like, oh, I'm out of high school, like I can finally be myself now. And then all of a sudden there was this flood of people coming in that were like, oh my god, the amount of people that I see with like in their bios they have like, I love goth girls, or I want a goth girl, don't hit me up unless you're a goth girl. It's so weird and just like shocking to me. Of course, I am grateful for it because it did give me a lot of views and I got a wider audience because of it, which I am very grateful for. It's just very strange that out of like anything, like as a kid, I never thought that because I was goth, it was gonna get me anywhere. It was more like, in my head, I was like, oh, I have to, if I want to get out there, I have to be a really good musician or really good at singing or be really talented at something. And like, I just showed my face and all of a sudden it was like, everyone in my DMs. But I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like complaining about that. I do appreciate the fact that I did get I did reach a wide audience because of it. It's a really weird thing because I never thought that this would ever happen. This one also has copyright music. But basically in the video it was just a sad song, and then of course there's the sad violin playing in the music, and it's just the, oh, like, you know, play the tiny violin.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
But yeah, it's definitely becoming a very common thing of people getting upset with, like, real goths for, like, gatekeeping the community. Which when I think of, like, goths gatekeeping, it's like, oh, you don't look goth enough, so, like, you can't be goth, or, like, you know, the whole thing of, goths like hating baby bats and being like, you have to do it yourself, you have to figure it out yourself because that's how I did it. That's what I think of gatekeeping. I don't think of gatekeeping as just saying what goth is. It's super weird like seeing it now because like as a kid I dealt with the elitist goths who were like, oh, you're a baby bat, like you have to figure this out on your own, like you have to find your own music, you have to figure it out. I'm not going to tell you how to be goth, but all I know is that you're a poser.
9/11 was bad.
I agree with that.
9/11. 9/11.
I think you guys get my point by now of what goth is. And I always appreciate it when baby bats come into my comments or things like that and ask for music recommendations. And I also have a lot of baby bats that come in and they're like, well, I'm not allowed to wear eyeliner and stuff like that, so like I don't feel like I'm goth enough. What I'm gonna say to that is when I think of being goth, it's like a big part of it is not fitting in. So if, of course, I know it like sucks if like the goths aren't accepting you in because you don't look goth enough, but those goths are assholes and you should stay away from them because they suck. If you are a baby bat, you are a goth, you do whatever you want. As long as you listen to the music, like, you're goth enough. You don't have to dress like, even people online will tell me that I'm not goth enough because I don't go like full trad goth, tease my hair out, wear corsets all the time. People have their preferences on what they want. I personally am not a fan of the way trad goth makeup looks on me. I like my makeup style. I like the vampire goth aesthetic where it's just like, you know, the long, straight, drapey, gothy hair. I like to wear like very like drapey, romantic goth looking clothes. Of course, I don't do that all the time because like I live in the middle of Wisconsin. There's not really many appropriate places to wear those things. But yeah, I would like to make more videos about the gothic topics and stuff. I just haven't had time to like put a bunch of things together. I would like to do more research on it because of course I don't just have every single moment in gothic history at the top of my head. Call me a poser if you want. I would like to put together like a good like video that's like set up very well instead of just my chaotic rambling and it never goes from point A to B. It just kind of goes everywhere and I eventually eventually make where I'm trying to go out, but it takes a minute to get there. But that is all that I have for today's video. Make sure you give this video a like, and I would love to hear your thoughts down below. And I am posting every Wednesday on here, so make sure you guys subscribe and turn those notifications on so you don't miss a video. And I will also be streaming on my Twitch every Thursday. It's going to be at Alyssa_Rain. I planned this week to be playing Alice Madness Returns, and I am very excited because that's like the one thing I wanted a PC for. So I am super excited about playing that game, and I would just love if you guys joined me for that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye. Oh, also, I hope you guys had some good holidays. I forgot that Christmas happened. Zero, you got a new toy. You got so many things. You got so many treats. You got this toy from my mom. She made you homemade treats. You are very spoiled this year, right? You wanna say Merry Christmas to everyone? Okay. Okay, I think he's just gonna go chew on that bone now, like he has been for the past 24 hours.